Good evening. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. Welcome to Meditate Like a Jedi. I'm going to futz about with the computer for a moment. Let's see here. This is the 15th lesson, wherein we will explore applications for metta contemplation for insomnia. If you are watching this on YouTube, I invite you to introduce yourself in the chat area and let me know what you feel your greatest need is in this moment. At any time during the live stream you have a question, don't be shy, just ask your question just type out your question. If you find yourself to be deeply extroverted and would like to ask your question face-to-face, no worries. In the description area below the live stream, there's a link to my Instagram feed. It's meditate.jedi. Go to that feed, smash the request button, and once I notice it, if I notice it, I'll respond on my end and you can ask me your question face-to-face and in real time. However, if I don't notice it, just sign out and then re-enter and do it again. I know it's kind of clunky, but it works. If you find value in these live streams or podcasts or blogs or class materials, numerous and free to download, then please consider supporting this channel by using the link in the description area below. If you cannot afford to support this channel at this time, there are other ways you can support it. By subscribing, by clicking the notification bell, by clicking the thumbs up icon, and by leaving a comment. For these things really help with the algorithm. Excuse me. Having said that, I'm going to open up tonight's practice text. And as we can see, this is a Word doc. However, its PDF equivalent is already on the download page, whose link can be found in the description area below the live stream. And if you're watching on Instagram, the text that I'm working from tonight is available for free download as well. Just go to my bio, open up the link tree, and follow the appropriate shortcut. The recommended reading for this lesson is Count Dooku's Taunts. And the easiest way to find that blog is by looking at the 15th lesson on the download page. Now, there are many, many causes of insomnia. Such as diet, or circumstances, increased anxiety, and what have you. But if you have chronic insomnia, difficult falling asleep, or difficult returning to sleep after you've had a nightmare or gone to the bathroom in the middle of the night, then this could really help. Now, this is no substitute for 2 prior lessons I've given on this subject. I should say prior pieces of advice. One is, When reading before bed, close your right eye and read through the left eye. That will help to sedate the body. When finally you come to bed, lay upon in the fetal position upon your right side. That will compress the right side channel and help to induce sleep. So once you've read through your left eye, once you've crawled into bed and lay upon your right side, then the following meditations could really help. Now, clearly I don't expect you to whip out your cell phone and wake up your partner and start using these meditations. But if you play with these meditations, perhaps on the couch before coming to bed, every night for a week or so, you'll find that they lend themselves to easy and almost effortless memorization. Memorization is not mandatory, but it sure makes it easier. Once again, the more you practice, the easier it is to recall it. The heading reads Circumstantial Love. So this is a reference to the 4 bases of mindfulness, which is really unique to Buddhism. If you are a returning student and feel you have a good bead on the 4 bases of mindfulness, then please do me a favor and in the chat area enumerate or list the 4 bases of mindfulness for me. When Siddhartha left his father's palace in northeast India to become the monk Gautama, he acquired 2 teachers who taught him the popular form of meditation in his day, which was concentration. Concentration is an active compression of one's perception and one's experience of one's own mind. And although his teachers felt that he excelled, he wasn't satisfied with his results. For an additional 5 years, he lived in the forest, practicing asceticism, almost to the point of death. And then he realized that just as the debauchery of the palace was folly, so was physical asceticism. He chose at that point to seek the middle way between all extremes. A strong case could be made that the Buddha began to perceive concentration as another form of asceticism, and so he practiced the opposite of that. And so instead of being active, he was passive. Instead of controlling his experience and compressing it, he relaxed and allowed the experience to unfold without modifying it, passively and non-conceptually. But after years of compression and concentration, this vast experience of mindfulness was overwhelming. He was inundated with sensory information from without and from within, pleasurable and painful, glorious and grotesque. He was inundated with sensation and flavor and scent and sight and sound, as well as emotion and intention and cognition and recollection and imagination. And so the Buddha found it very helpful to organize all experience in just 4 categories. Body, or in this context, circumstance and body and feelings and mind. This is a common theme in the Buddha's techniques that he comes to over and over again, and that he structures various themes around, whether it's basic anapanasati mindfulness meditation, whether it's the exploration of the 8 petty dualities, whether it is compassion, whether it is love. Buddha kept coming back to the 4 bases of mindfulness. And so tonight we're going to wish others well, which is the essence of love and contemplation, from the perspective or through the template, if you will, of the 4 bases of mindfulness. We shall start with circumstance. And as I turn the page of our virtual practice text, or sadhana if you prefer Sanskrit, you see far too many words. Allow me to be your guide. On the left-hand side of the page, we see the phrase in-breath. Below that, the phrase out-breath. These 2 phrases serve as a type of contemplative notation. Excuse me. That function very similar to musical notation. For instance, the phrase in-breath infers that when we notice our body breathing, we silently and mentally recite safe for some. And then when we notice our body breathing out, we silently and mentally recite relaxing. So let's chip away at this. There is a lot to unpack. First of all, we do not concentrate upon our breath. We merely notice it. Number 2, we do not control our breath. That is the path of patriarchy. That is the path of yang. That is the path that stimulates our anxiety and our aggression. And no one comes to meditation deliberately to exacerbate those things. So we do not control our breathing, we do not focus upon our breathing, but we allow ourselves to notice it, to gently coordinate with it, and allow ourselves to make mistakes. If we do not allow ourselves to stumble, we will never become a Buddha. The path of uptightness does not lead to nirvana. It leads to hemorrhoids. So, during our in-breath, we silently and mentally recite safe for some. And so I've used the phrase silently and mentally recite as opposed to reverberally reciting with our vocal cords, and our jaw, and our lips, our hung, our he. But reciting instead using our inner monologue, our imaginary narrator, if you wished. You could speak in our voice or the voice of a favorite celebrity, perhaps Rod Serling or Sigourney Weaver or Samuel L. Jackson or Louis Black. Whoever blows your skirt up. So, to understand the Buddha's practice of love meditation, we have to understand first what it is not. It is not manifesting. It is not affirmations. It is not belief. It is not superstition. It's not magic. We're not assuming or pretending that we are Morgana the Mage or Merlin the Magician. It is merely words that gently guide our intention, not our emotion. Trying to select our emotions will make our life a living nightmare. But we can gently invite our intention by playing with words. Classically speaking, so we wish others well. In compassion, we wish that others be freed from their suffering. When we train in love, we wish so that others be lavished in good fortune. And so, one of the most basic things we can wish for people's circumstance is safety. In the time of fascism, in the time where men are still being lynched here in Southern California, when aging grandmothers are being pepper sprayed by steroid-using cops, safety is at a premium. The Buddha taught that when training in either compassion or love, to first consider to consider Earth's population, having trouble spinning this out, folks. To first lavish our attention upon 1/4 of the Earth, then 1/2 of the Earth, then 3/4 of the Earth, and the entirety of the Earth. Not unlike the hands of a clock. So what we're going to do is, instead of using the phrase 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and 4/4 like we did in last night's live stream, we're going to use their monosyllabic counterparts, which are a little bit cryptic. And we're going to wish safety for some, and then safety for half, and then safety for most, and then safety for all. Now, as a good little progressive, it's very easy to say, man, I don't know, it seems a little elitist. Let's just give safety to everyone and be done with it. That was my thinking for many years, because clearly I thought I knew more than the Buddha. And then one time I thought, oh hell, let's just try it his way and see what happens. And it worked even better. It seems like when we incrementally progress towards wishing well to everyone, by wishing well to 1/4, then 1/2, then 3/4, and then all, it's almost as if we are cultivating what I like to call a divine impatience, an impatience to do the right thing. Some people will call that using our neurotic tendencies on our behalf. During our out-breath, we silently and mentally recite relaxing. And in addition to silently and mentally reciting that word, we choose to or intend to relax physically as best we can. Now, some people get intimidated by that and they say, man, I've had 3 cappuccinos today. I don't think I can relax if my life depended on it. No worries. We are hardwired to relax somewhat in harmony with each exhalation. So, by silently and mentally reciting the word relaxing, we are aligning our intention with our factory installed wiring. Excuse me. This brings us to the final part of the pre-flight checklist, and that is answering the musical question: what is this laundry list of little words over here? Well, of these little words on the left were contemplative notation. These little words on the right are tabulatory notation, which is a fancy way of saying take that which helps us to not lose count. Oh, sure, we could use a mala, but malas can get lost or broken or stolen, or in the age of fascism, confiscated. Just as in a gym, one might do multiple sets. One might describe one's workout in terms of sets and reps. We're going to count sets upon a left hand and repetitions upon a right hand, using a system I learned from an ancient Bengali many years ago. So we're going to touch the tip of our left thumb to our left little finger's lower set of creases. As you already know, is the proud odor of a human body, that each finger has a tip, a higher set of creases, and a middle set of creases, and a lower set of creases. There you go. With a sit upright, with our head over our shoulders over our tuchus, feet flat upon the floor, assuming you are sitting in a chair. Let us rest our hands, palms up upon our thighs, and either scooch them towards our knees or towards our pelvis, depending upon which is most sustainable for our posture. Let's prepare now to count upon the 3 creases and tip of our right little finger. We will be advancing our right thumb during each in-breath. Of course, I'll be breathing faster than you because I'm doing all this talking. Safe for some, relaxing. For our next exercise, we're going to replace the word some with the word half. And we're going to count upon the 3 creases and tip of our right ring finger. Safe for half, relaxing. We now advance to our 3rd variation of this set. Let us count upon the 3 creases and tip of our right middle finger. That's the finger we use on the freeway to let the other drivers know that we think they are number 1. Safe for most, relaxing. Now, this is not an affirmation. We're not saying people are safe. We're just using this to guide our intention. Gentle, gentle, easy does it. Safe for most, relaxing. This brings us to the 4th variation, which we are going to count upon the 3 creases and tip of our right index finger. Safe for all, relaxing. Now that you get the basic gist of how to count upon the creases and tips of your right hand, I'm keeping my right hand on my lap. It's easier on my shoulders that way. Well, we've completed our first set of bringing love into the path of our circumstance. Now prepare for the second set, bringing love into the path of our physiques. And so we shall advance our left thumb, our left little finger, up to the left little finger's middle set of creases, right there. And it's very similar to the last set. We're just replacing the word safe with the word health, which is profoundly poignant now during the time of global pandemic. And while I don't recommend blind terror, I do recommend a certain sense of soberness. My neighbor died last month. My acquaintance in Texas died this month. People are dying all around of various ages. So please, let's be wise. Let's wear our masks. Let's maintain social distancing. Let's wish others health. And while we're on the subject, the Buddha taught the Four Noble Truths. What are those Four Noble Truths? They're a stress. And stress is caused, or at least exacerbated, by shoving some things away, reaching for other things, and clutching on to yet other things. The third noble truth is we can be liberated from the tyranny of that neurosis. We still have our brain with its wiring and its impulses, but it does not have to make us nuttier than a shithouse rat. So liberation from that tyranny is possible. The fourth noble truth is that liberation is accomplished by practicing and mastering the Eightfold Path. The Eightfold Path fits into three categories: contemplation, compassion, and meditation. So the second noble truth is right aspiration. That's what we're doing now, wishing love. The third and the fourth and the fifth noble truths, eightfolds of the path, are loving communication, loving behavior, and loving vocation. In other words, the love that we intended during the second phase of the path, we must spread to our verbal behavior and our physical behavior and the way we do business. I've said all that to say this: if we're serious about becoming the people that our dogs already think we are, then we must train in love. We must behave in a loving manner. Now, clearly, most of us are not Jeff Bezos. Most of us do not have the financial means to house and clothe and feed, employ, and no less educate every human on the planet. But there's some simple changes we can make that could directly influence the lives of literally thousands of living beings. And here it is. Number one, we can stop murdering other living beings so that we can, murdering and or exploiting other living beings so that we can consume their flesh or their eggs or their milk or their skin or their hair or their fur or their other bodily substances or their talents. And number two, as consumers, we can cease to pay others to do the dirty deeds for us. We can choose a vegan diet. And if we choose a whole food vegan diet, not only is it possible, but it's even going to be healthier than the standard American diet. That's overwhelming to you, don't worry. There's a link in the description area below this live stream to my friend Mike Dearborn's page on YouTube. He calls his channel Mike the Vegan, and he spells Mike M-I-C because he's much cooler than me. So, now that you've endured your vegan flogging, let's continue. Health for some, relaxing, right little finger. Health for half, relaxing, right ring finger. Health for most, relaxing, counting upon our right middle finger. And now, health for all, relaxing, counting upon our right index finger. We now shift gears from body-oriented love towards interpersonal love. So in other words, we are wishing to lavish good things upon other people's interactions with other beings. So we're going to return our attention to our left little finger and advance our thumb up to the left little finger's higher set of creases. We're going to replace the word health with the word peace, because no one wants strife in their life. Peace for some, relaxing. Let's count upon the right little finger. And now let us turn our attention to our right ring finger, peace for half, relaxing. Peace for most, relaxing. And now let us count upon our right index finger, peace for all, relaxing. You might begin to feel yourself growing rather sedate. That's good. You don't have to go outside and run a race right now. I'm pretty sure there are no bears chasing you. This can help you sleep rather well tonight. Peace for all, relaxing. Provided, of course, you don't stick your face in Facebook and read all the scary news after this meditation, and then be surprised why you can't sleep. Peace for all, relaxing. We now come to the fourth base of mindfulness. We are going to explore the intersection of love and mind. And so in a very subtle area, mind perceives. Mind perceives sensation and flavor and scent and sight and sound. Mind also, on a coarser level, emotes and intends and thinks and recalls and imagines. No one function of mind is better or worse than the other. We want everyone's mind to be happy. So return your attention to your left little finger. and advance your thumb, your left thumb, up to the left little finger's tip. Now we return our attention back to our right hand. Let's count upon the 4 creases and tip of our right little finger. Joy for some, relaxing. And by the way, the ideas of wishing people safety, health, and peace and joy are drawn from one of the Buddha's discourses on the subject. I would tell you it's called the Metta Sutta, but there are many Metta Suttas. So that's more of a category than of a discourse than an actual discourse, if that makes sense. Kind of like saying action movie isn't the name of one movie, it's the name of a genre of movies. Joy for some, relaxing. Joy, now let us count upon our right ring finger. Joy for half, relaxing. Let's count upon our right middle finger. Joy for most, relaxing. Now, there's a difference between emoting and intending. If we are feeling angry, we pretend we're not feeling angry, then that makes us liars. If we are feeling angry and we know we're feeling angry, but we still choose to wish others well, that does not make us a hypocrite. That makes us mature adults determined to do the right thing, not only with our bodies and our speech, but with our mind and our intention. Let's turn the page to the last, this evening's last love contemplation. Joy for all, relaxing. Let us count upon the 3 creases and tip our right index finger. We've just gone through 16 contemplations. If our mind was a dog right now, it would be panting. So let's give our mind a rest, not with an additional contemplation, but with the Buddhist style of meditation. Now, the Buddhist style of meditation is not the suppression of thought. It is not the suppression of distraction. It is the opposite of that. It is about allowing. On our in-breath, we silently and mentally recite, notice this, and of course you'll notice that the word this is a pronoun, deliciously vague. It refers to whatever we experience, external or internal, pleasurable or painful, glorious or grotesque, whether it is sensation or flavor or scent or sight or sound, whether it is emotion or intention or thought or recollection or imagination. Whatever we experience is simply this. The in-breath, notice this, and the out-breath, relaxing. This will not make our troubles go away, but it will make us much more resilient. If our troubles could be likened to a hurricane, this can help us to find the eye of the storm. It should not be confused with the Eye of the Tiger, which was a fun movie, but it's a silly song. We're just going to count upon our right hand. Start on the right little finger. Notice this, relaxing. And now our right ring finger. And now our right middle finger. Notice this, relaxing. And now our right index finger. That concludes the guided meditation portion of tonight's live stream. Now it's time for the portion of the live stream where I insult your intelligence by reading to you. And that which I am reading tonight is titled, Not a Sprint, but a Stroll. The path of mastering the Buddha's teachings is not a sprint, but a stroll. First, content yourself to meditate for 5 minutes every morning, and for 5 minutes every evening, as doing so could reap greater benefits than enduring a 60-minute sitting session once a month or even once a week. 4. A humble, consistent, twice daily practice will always trump an inconsistent practice, heroic in effort, yet sporadic in frequency. As seen by how drop by drop a cavern's great stalactites are formed. Rest assured that if at first we cultivate a practice merely 5 minutes in length, repeating every 12 hours or so, then it is only a matter of time before circumstances shift and ability grows, and spontaneously we find ourselves meditating 20 or 40 or even 60 minutes twice daily. Shortly thereafter, we could find that we have memorized the practice text effortlessly, effectively, and spontaneously. What could you do when hour-long meditations, free of the need to read a manual, become your habit, easy and pleasurable and transformative? My friends, that concludes tonight's live stream. I thank you for your time and your kind attention. Whoops, I pushed the wrong button. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. It is my desire. So, when you practice this, and I really hope you do, questions will arise. Jot them down and then bring them to me. Present them to me either as a direct message on Instagram or ask me during the chat during the next live stream. And I'll do my best to answer these questions for you, either as a blog post or as a live stream. Excuse me. Until next, see? Drowsy. Until next we speak, may you and yours be happy and healthy. Bye-bye now.